Dear Scorpio, there is a moment approaching that carries your name, and if your eyes are on this screen right now, it is not by accident. Around December 15th, something in your life may finally crack open, and yes, there may be tears, but not the kind that come from devastation. These are the tears that arrive when a truth you have secretly known for years finally steps out of the shadows and looks you directly in the soul. This message is not here to scare you. It is here to prepare you, to steady you, to remind you that what is coming toward you is not punishment, but alignment. When you clicked on this video, you answered a quiet call from the universe, a subtle vibration that whispered, "Listen, this one is for you." Maybe you even hesitated, scrolled past, then came back. That is how destiny behaves sometimes, not loud, not demanding, but persistent, like a hand gently reaching for yours in a crowded room. Scorpio, you have always moved differently from others. Where most people skim the surface, you dive straight to the bottom of every situation, every relationship, every question that keeps you awake at night. You are ruled by depths, by transformation, by those invisible tides that shape us in ways we cannot always explain. Lately, have you felt it building? That strange tension in the air, the sensation that something in your life is about to shift, even if you cannot yet name what it is. Maybe your sleep has been restless, your dreams unusually vivid, your emotions closer to the surface than usual. Maybe you have been waking around 3 in the morning, heart awake while the world lies silent, as if someone, somewhere, is trying to speak to you beyond words. This is not random. This is your intuition, your spirit, your higher self moving in ahead of time, preparing the ground for what December is bringing to your doorstep. As we move toward the middle of December, the energy around you becomes more sensitive, more transparent, almost like the air itself is thinner. You may notice that you are picking up on other people's moods faster, feeling both the heaviness and the hope in the spaces you enter. Old memories may surface without warning, a conversation you never fully processed, a goodbye that never truly ended, a betrayal you tried to bury under busyness. These echoes are not here to torture you, they are invitations. The universe, your guide's God, however you name that presence, is gently turning on the light in rooms inside of you that you have kept closed for too long. December 15th is not just a date on a calendar. It is an inner threshold, a spiritual checkpoint where something inside you is ready to say no more to what drains you and, yes, finally, to what aligns with who you truly are becoming. Some of you may notice signs intensifying as that day approaches, repeating numbers that follow you from clocks to receipts to license plates, feathers in strange places, songs that seem to answer the very question you were just thinking, people speaking words that feel like they were meant for you, even though they have no idea what you are going through. Scorpio, your life right now is not ordinary. You are being walked through a corridor of synchronicity, where the outer world reflects back the inner shift already taking place. The question is not, is something happening? The question is, will you honor it? Because the moment that brings tears on or around December 15th will not be random. It will be the culmination of many silent prayers, many days you thought no one heard you, many moments you chose healing instead of revenge. For years you have carried weights that no one saw. You have been the strong one, the loyal one, the one who stayed when others left, who listened when no one listened to you, who gave chances long after you stopped getting any in return. There is a kind of exhaustion that comes from being that person, a bone-deep tiredness that makes you wonder when it will finally be your turn to be held, to be chosen, to be protected. The energy approaching December 15th is answering that question in a quiet, powerful way. It is not arriving as a lottery ticket or a lightning bolt. It is arriving as truth. The truth about who you are now. The truth about who has honored your heart and who has only borrowed it when convenient. The truth about where you are meant to invest your time, your love, your talent, your money, your life force from this point forward. For some of you, this truth may come through a conversation that changes everything. A sentence someone says without thinking, and suddenly the entire story rearranges itself in your mind. For others, it may arrive as a realization while you are alone, washing dishes, staring out a window, sitting in your car after a long day. You might feel something inside you click, like a lock finally turning after years of being jammed. You may cry not because you are losing something, but because you finally see clearly what was already over, or what was never worthy of you in the first place. This is not about humiliation, it is about liberation. You are being moved away from what keeps your spirit small and toward what allows it to breathe. There is also another side to this energy, Scorpio, the side of recognition and restoration. For too long, your efforts may have gone unnoticed. Your integrity, your sacrifices, your late nights, your quiet battles, all of it may have seemed invisible to those who should have cared. But the universe does not operate in ignorance. There is a strange mathematics at work in your life, a spiritual accounting that never truly loses track of what you have poured out of yourself. Around this time, an email, a message, an offer, an unexpected thank you may arrive that reminds you that nothing you gave from the heart was wasted. It may not come from the person you expected. In fact, often it doesn't. But it will come as a sign that your energy has not been forgotten. Scorpio, you are entering a season where your boundaries will be your greatest protection. As the truth rises, certain people may be uncomfortable with the version of you that no longer apologizes for existing. Someone who once benefited from your silence may attempt to tug on old strings, a message from the past, a sudden resurfacing, a familiar pattern dressed as concern. When this happens, pause, breathe. Remember that you are no longer the Scorpio who needed to prove your worth by staying, by fixing, by absorbing what was never yours. The tears you might cry around December 15th are not meant to pull you backward. They are meant to cleanse the last residue of a story where you constantly put yourself last. You may feel called to create a simple ritual around that day, not as superstition, but as a way of honoring this inner turning point. The night before, dim the lights, turn off the noise, and give yourself a pocket of stillness. Light a candle, white for clarity, green for healing, or gold for self-worth and divine favor. Sit with your own presence, hand on your heart, and ask gently, what am I ready to release? What am I finally willing to stop carrying? You do not need a dramatic answer. Sometimes the most powerful shift is just admitting quietly, I am tired of pretending this doesn't hurt, or I am done begging for the bare minimum. Let your honesty be the doorway. You have spent so much of your life being honest for other people. This is the moment to be honest with yourself. On the morning of December 15th, before you pick up your phone, before you plug yourself into the noise of the world, give yourself a single minute of sacred focus. Place both feet on the ground. Feel the floor supporting you. Take one slow, deliberate breath in, and as you exhale, whisper something like, "Today I walk in truth. Today I choose peace. Today I allow what is meant for me to find me." These are not magic spells, they are anchors. They remind your nervous system that you are not at the mercy of chaos. You are a co-creator in how you meet whatever unfolds. As this day moves through you, pay attention to your body. Transformation is not only a spiritual process, it is deeply physical. You may feel a heaviness in your chest when old energy rises, or a surprising lightness when a long-standing fear finally loosens its grip. You might notice tension in your shoulders, a strange wave of sadness that passes quickly, or a sense of relief you didn't expect. None of this means you are failing or falling apart. It means the deepest parts of you are adjusting to a new way of being. One where you do not carry what is not yours. One where you do not shrink so others feel comfortable. One where you allow yourself to be seen without wearing a costume of strength all the time. Some of you will experience this energy through your relationships. A truth may come out about how someone really feels, for better or for worse. Perhaps you realize that a connection you have been clinging to is built on hopes and hypotheticals, not real reciprocity. Perhaps someone admits they took you for granted. Perhaps you finally admit to yourself that the crumbs you have been accepting are not worthy of the feast of love you are capable of giving. Whatever it looks like, remember this. You are not obligated to stay loyal to a version of your life that erases you. You can bless the past, forgive what you are ready to forgive, and still choose a future where your heart is respected, not negotiated down to the lowest price. Others will feel this shift in the realm of work, purpose, and money. A door you thought was closed may creak open again. A skill you almost dismissed as nothing special may suddenly be recognized, requested, or rewarded. A situation where you were overlooked, underpaid, or treated as disposable may start to turn. The change might be small at first. A supportive message, a new idea, an intuitive nudge to apply for something or to finally step away from a toxic environment. Do not underestimate these small signs. They are seeds. Scorpio, you were never meant to live your life in survival mode forever. The universe is not mocking you when it shows you glimpses of stability and abundance. It is reminding you of what you're allowed to grow into. In the midst of all of this, there will be a quiet invitation to soften, not in a way that makes you vulnerable to old harm, but in a way that lets compassion back into your own chest. You are so used to being the one who holds everything together that you sometimes forget you are allowed to be human, allowed to have needs, allowed to feel. You do not have to be the hero every day. Around this time, give yourself permission to rest emotionally. Let yourself cry if the tears come. Let yourself laugh if the relief arrives. Let yourself feel the grief of what is ending and the fragile hope of what is beginning. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are simply honest. If your spirit is resonating with these words, if you can feel that something in this message touches a place you rarely show anyone, take a moment to ground this energy in the physical world. Breathe in slowly and say, out loud or in the comments if you feel called, I am ready to see the truth. I release what harms my peace. I welcome what honors my soul. There is power in putting your intention into words. It is not about impressing anyone. It is about letting your future self know, I chose this. I stood up for me. And as we move toward the close of this message, let us speak about responsibility and freedom. This is not fortune-telling. This is not a guarantee that on December 15th, a single event will magically fix everything or destroy everything. Life is far more mysterious than that. What you are listening to now is a story woven from patterns, from energies, from the timeless dance between your choices and the unseen forces that surround you. Think of it as a mirror, a symbolic narrative reflecting back to you, where many Scorpios find themselves right now on the edge of release, on the threshold of a new chapter. This narrative is a mirror, a reflection of a potential timeline, a story whispered into the universe for those who are meant to hear it. If it resonates with you, take it as gentle confirmation, not as a command. If it does not, let it pass by like a cloud drifting across the sky. No video, no reading, no message can replace your own free will, your own wisdom, your own lived reality. Only you can decide what meaning to give the days ahead and how to respond when emotion rises. Scorpio, what you are being offered now is not a script to follow, but an invitation to participate more consciously in your own becoming. The universe does not demand that you be fearless. It simply asks that you be honest. Honest about the patterns that keep repeating, about the relationships that no longer nourish you, about the dreams you keep postponing until later, while later keeps moving further away. On or around December 15th, when emotion swells, when tears sting your eyes, when your heart feels shaken in your chest, remember this video, remember this voice reminding you. You are not breaking, you are opening. You are not being left behind. You are being redirected. You are not losing your power. You are reclaiming where you place it. So as you step into that day and the days that follow, walk a little slower. Notice the sky. Notice how your body feels when you say yes to something and how it tightens when you want to say no but are afraid. Notice who checks on you without being asked. Notice where you feel small and gently, lovingly begin to step away from those spaces. You are a sign of rebirth, of phoenix fire, of silent resilience that refuses to die. The life that awaits you on the other side of this emotional wave is not one where nothing ever hurts again, but one where you trust yourself enough to respond differently. If your heart is whispering yes to any part of this, anchor it in this moment. Tell the universe in your own words or borrowing these, I accept what is ready to leave. I welcome what is meant to stay. I allow my life to become a place where truth and peace can live together. Let this be more than a feeling. Let it be a decision, even if it is a quiet one you make with tears in your eyes. Because sometimes, Scorpio, the day that shakes your heart is the same day your soul finally feels free. And when you look back on this December, you may realize that the moment you cried was not the moment you collapsed. It was the moment you finally came home to yourself. And if this message has touched something deep inside you, let it be known. Like, share, and subscribe so this circle of healing can reach the hearts that are still searching in the dark. You are not behind. You are, and have always been, right on time.